Should the DJI Mavic Air 2 be your first drone? Let's find out. So for the past 3 or 4 years now, I've been wanting a drone really badly, but I never actually made the jump and bought one. What originally sparked my interest for drones was in that 2016-17 period where Casey was very big on them, and he was flying them over New York cities, and it was just a very new thing for me, and I fell in love with it right away. So I believe it was about late March, early April, I got an email from DJI saying there was something new coming, and going on Reddit, it was speculated that it was going to be the Mavic Air 2, and I thought, you know what, this is going to be the time finally, right? The specs that they were claiming this was going to have were like no other, and for the price point that you were going to pay for it, I thought, wow, this is the time. So I waited 2 months after the release of the Mavic Air 2 to actually buy it, because I wanted to wait, see what the reviews, see what people are thinking about them, if there was any major bugs that were going to ruin it for me. On June 14th, I knew it was time, and I said, you know what, I'm going to get one now. So I've had the Mavic Air 2 now for around a month. That allowed me to have a lot of experiences in different situations with it, so it wasn't just a quick 1 week use it in one situation and make a review on it. I was lucky enough to have the opportunity to use this in the mountains, over water, on beaches, and yeah, I think I've used it in a fair amount of situations. So for me, the major selling point of the Mavic Air 2 was definitely, without a doubt, the portability of this thing. For small filmmakers like myself, we don't want to be carrying around, for example, the Phantom 3, the Phantom 4, which is very big, or even the Mavic Pro for all that matters. It's just a big drone, a lot to carry around. Whereas this, you can almost, if you wanted to, put this in your pocket. It fits in my camera bag extremely easily, super convenient. It's also quite nice, you can take the propellers on and off within seconds. It's just a quick push and then it locks in. It folds up really easily too. The two back ones fold up first, and then you have the two front ones fold backwards. It just becomes so small, and I'm going to put up a picture right now of a comparison to my hand in the drone. Now let's get to the controller. There's been a lot of hate, I guess you could say. Not a lot of hate towards the controller, but people don't like how big it is, and they say it doesn't feel well in their hand. But for me, someone with bigger hands, I prefer something like this over the controller of the Mavic Mini, for example. The two thumbsticks easily go into the bottom of the controller, and then you can screw them in pretty simply. Phone fits in there easily. I'm personally a big fan of the controller. I've charged this thing once since I've got it in the month, and I think I have like 60 plus flights on it. And I charge my phone sometimes on this too. These two together can easily fit in your camera bag, and you have 4K 60 FPS footage, and that is that's more than enough for a lot of people. And before I get into my experience with the drone the past month and how it flew and some experiences I put myself in with it, I'm going to show you guys some stock footage that I've managed to capture. I've compiled a couple of clips that I've taken within the past month, and I put them together to make like a minute or so montage. And yeah, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm going to let that play. I also just want to add that none of these clips have been color graded. That's all stock from the Mavic Air 2. Majority of the clips are shot in 4K 60, some of them are shot in 1080, and I just upscaled it. And yeah, enjoy. As you can see, for stock clips, those are amazing. After color grading, it looks fantastic. I'd probably say I'm 50-50 with video and photography. I'm just going to show you the photos because it doesn't lack at all on the photo aspect of the drone. It shoots 48 megapixels, and I'm going to display some of the photos that I've managed to capture the past month now. Now I'm going to be telling you guys about my experience with having the Mavic Air for the past month. The first thing I'm going to go over is how easy this is to learn to fly if this is going to be your first drone. I was lucky enough to fly the Mavic Mini about 2 days after purchasing the Mavic Air 2 from a buddy of mine. I found the delay time from when the user actually moves it to when the drone actually moves a lot greater, and kind of made the Mavic Mini a little hard to fly after flying this for so long. I would almost say there's like no delay time with my experiences with the Mavic Air 2 in this. And the controls on top of it are very simple too. It's just ascend, descend, turn drone, and then whichever way you want to actually push and go towards. After like flying it for the first 5 minutes in a very empty space with nothing around, it was really easy to pick up on afterwards. And yeah, after that I had no problems flying it at all. The controller comes with different types of cables for your different kinds of phones, so you don't have to worry about that. The app that you use to fly your drone is, I find, pretty good, to be honest. Very fast, not too buggy. You could check all your flight statuses too. I've actually also used the Mavic Air 2 in really high wind situations, and only once out of my time flying it did I get a wind warning from like on the actual app. I was flying it around like 350 feet over a large body of water, and yeah, the way the drone actually corrects itself in the wind to balance itself out, and the gimbal, both that working together creates for such a smooth image. A lot of the time when the drone's shaking, you like look at the footage and it's just perfectly still, which is awesome. You got your USB-C on one side and then your SD card on the other. Those are the only 2 ports on the drone. In terms of flight time, they claim to be it's like around 34 minutes on their ads and on the website, but to be honest, I've been getting closer to like 25, 27. I am flying in sport mode, that is, for most of the time. But yeah, it hasn't been nearly 34 minutes. I don't think I've had a flight that lasted 30 minutes yet. But other than the battery life, guys, to be honest, I don't have that many complaints with this drone. For the price you're paying, it is a very good deal, guys. I ordered on DJI, the official DJI website, and it took 3 weeks to come, give or take. But I didn't pay for taxes and I didn't pay shipping for some reason. I don't know why, but that made it a lot more desirable. I had to wait 3 weeks though. Overall, this drone compared to the Mavic Mini, it gets tossed around in the wind a lot less. It's a lot more stable out there. The controller has much more of a delay time, I found. But other than that, the camera is also a little bit superior too. I don't think the Mavic Mini actually shoots full 4K. As you can tell, I'm a little bit more in favor for the Mavic Air 2 in terms of specs. But then you also got to take into consideration the Mavic Mini is under 250 grams. You don't need to register it like I did with this. I also needed to get my basic drone pilot license here in Canada to fly it, so it's a lot less of a hassle. You can just take the Mavic Mini out. You don't need to register it because it's under 250 grams and just fly it right away. You don't need to worry about the legality of it as much as this, for example. On this drone, you also have bottom sensors located right there and there. You got your 2 front sensors, and then you got your 2 back sensors there. So you have protection from the back side, bottom, and front. There's 3 places where it's missing sensors. You don't have any on either of the sides, and then you don't have any on top either. But that I haven't found to be too big of an issue at all, really. You just be smart when you're flying, know not to fly sideways into things. Another cool feature about this guy, you have a pretty bright spotlight. So if it's a little bit dark out, you're shooting at sunset, when you come down, there's about when you're like 4 feet, 5 feet above the ground, it shines a massive spotlight and really helps like to find where you're landing. You could shoot 8K hyperlapses with this, 120 FPS, 1080. Overall, the camera's very highly spec'd. That was a big selling point for me with this. You get really professional footage with this, I've been finding. I've been really happy with the camera. Having 120 FPS in this makes slow motion videos a lot better because you can slow it down a lot more and it still looks very crisp without looking choppy. You could slow it down with 120 FPS a lot and it would still be very, very smooth. With the Air 2, you have a lot of follow modes too, so you could set the drone up to kind of travel at the same distance behind you and follow you. And there's also like orbital mode, I believe it's called, and that's where it just kind of pans around you in a circle at the same distance. I haven't really used a lot of those modes. I find them, I don't know, I'm not in control of the drone. Let's say it flies sideways into a tree. I don't really want that happening, so I haven't really messed around too much with those. Neither really have I been in a scenario where I really had to. So I'm not sure if you guys saw earlier, but I do have scratch marks on the top of my drone. I let my buddy fly it for the first time. He was really hyped to see it and flew it right into my house. Luckily, it's just got a bit of a scratch on the battery. I have something wrong with the gimbal, but it's been working and I don't want to waste a DJI Care Refresh thing already. Also buy insurance for it because it's only 90 bucks. You get 2 brand new ones if you can retrieve your broken one. And yeah, I would just highly recommend that if you're gonna spend that much money on the drone. But yeah, he crashed it. It still works. I'm gonna wait till I get into a worse accident before I use my first insurance call. Overall, I have nothing bad to say about this drone, to be honest with you. It's very small. For my first drone, I am very, very stoked with this and very happy I waited to this time to get a drone. I like to think that something like this will be pretty future-proofed because the specs are really high and like the footage looks very professional from it. I thoroughly enjoy it. This is probably the video I put the most effort into on my YouTube channel, guys. So hopefully you guys enjoy it. If you did, don't forget to leave a thumbs up on this. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this type of content. I have a lot of cool ideas coming forward. The next 2 weeks I'm gonna try to be banging out videos. Just gonna have kind of fun with this. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you guys enjoy my content, don't forget to subscribe. And until next time, guys, I will see you in the next. Peace.